G'day viewers, my name's Graeme Stevenson and I'd like to invite you to come on a journey of creativity and learning and adventure through the series Colour in Your Life. There's an artist in every family throughout the world, and lots of times there's an artist deep down inside all of us as well. So grab your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, uncles and mums and dads and come and see how some of the best artists do what they do.
Well, hi folks, and welcome back to Colour in Your Life. Well, we are in the Bay of Plenty in New Zealand, in a beautiful area, or the town, city called Tauranga, is that correct?
Very close, Tauranga.
It's like, the words just go over me sometimes, but I'm with a wonderful lady, Susan Harrison-Tustain.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, it's absolutely fantastic. Susan, without a doubt, I feel is probably one of the premier artists in New Zealand, if not in the world. I mean, she has been published all over the world, published books with some of the big companies in the United States, numerous exhibitions. You've been on TV a few times as well, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Tell me a little bit more about your history then.
I feel as if I've been painting forever. My mum was a wonderful influence. She always used to encourage me to paint and bought all the wonderful materials, and her encouragement just brought so much out of me that I didn't realise was there.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in my early 30s, I decided to take painting seriously. And so actually it's rather an interesting story. Richard said to me, get the best materials you can, give yourself the best chance to succeed, take 6 months, give it your all, and if it works, that's great, and if not, there's no regrets. And that was fabulous because it started an amazing journey for me.
Well, it looks like it's obviously worked.
Yes.
But you're a multidisciplined artist as well, not just your portraiture, which I think is probably some of your best work, your portraiture work, but you really are a master in watercolours and oils, and I think your work is just amazing. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing some of your watercolours.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, and also going through the process because Susan's such a fantastic teacher as well. I mean, she has a number of very, very successful DVDs out right across the world, but she's going to take us through some stuff that I've actually never even seen myself, funnily enough. I mean, you popped up with some things before. Oh, here they are. And she's going to explain how to use these different filters, which I thought was quite fascinating. But we're going to be doing a flower today, is that correct?
That's right.
In watercolours, and then going through some other exercises in conjunction with that. And then, as you will see as we go through the show, the amazing work that Susan done is just extraordinary stuff, it really is. So let's get stuck into this and go along for the ride and see what comes of it. I think it's going to be amazing.
Let's go for it. When I'm putting my paints out, I always put them out in the same order. And it just so happens that this curried egg plate has 12 little cubicles, which is just ideal because I've got just 12 colours.
A curried egg plate, well that's a novelty for a start. But I was just noticing as well, you're that well known as an artist that Da Vinci has also made a brand name paintbrush set for you. And that beautiful leather-bound satchel there, that's pretty amazing.
Thank you, yes, they're an amazing company. I've used Da Vinci brushes for many years, and it was suggested to me that they would be able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I spoke to them, it was wonderful. They suggested a wonderful leather cover and brush holder, which is just fabulous.
Fantastic.
Beautiful, beautiful brushes.
Well, the one thing that surprises me when I look at your work and the extensive quality of what you produce is the fact that you're actually a self-taught artist. I mean, somebody that gets that good, that's self-taught, you've obviously done a lot of research.
I have. I'm the sort of person that spends a lot of time analysing things, and if there's something that really moves me, particularly in nature or in a particular painting, Rembrandt's painting in particular, I spend a lot of time looking and working out what is it about that subject, or what is it about that thing in nature that really moves me and compels me to paint it. And I think it's that analysis, and also working out the logic behind it, what it is that makes it so special. Those are the sort of things that I love to do, and I think that it shows in the work.
Absolutely does, there's no two ways about it. Well, being surrounded by one of the prettiest gardens I've seen in a long time, in a house that looks like it came out of provincial France, you really do use a lot of the flowers in the garden as your reference material as well.
I do, they were planted especially. This particular one is called Sally Holmes, and we have that in the garden. It has magnificent clusters of blooms. It's just beautiful, and it features in a number of my paintings. In fact, I think it was in my first DVD as well. What I'm going to do, we're going to be using a photograph because that's the most logical way of showing you what I do. But I always urge people to paint from life if that's possible. I'm just going to demonstrate a single petal. I'm now going to lay in my yellow underwash. Usually it's 2 steps. The benefits of the yellow underwash are that it allows the painting to really glow. You imagine stained glass. Pieces of stained glass, one laid on top of each other, all transparent. Well, that's exactly the same as the paints that I use. They're transparent or semi-transparent colours.
And is this something that you do all the time in your work?
Yes.
Okay.
Certainly with my watercolour. Now let's talk about my priming method. This is an invaluable method that I use in the first 2 or 3 layers of my paintings. What it does, it allows the water to get into the inner layers of the paper. What happens with that colour that gets pulled down into those lower layers is that it's actually set within the paper. So we've got isolated layers, and that's what adds to the wonderful luminosity. Now you've seen me put in a clear water wash. That's step 1 of my priming method. Just as the sheen had gone off that first layer, I've laid in another clear water wash. That's step 2 of my priming method. And you can see that there's still a sheen on the top of the surface. Now's the time to come in with my colour. This is step 3. I drop my yellow, and I always start in the darkest area first. And you'll see that I'm dabbing. I don't stroke, I dab. I let the water move my paint, and that's how I create those lovely soft blends of colour. Now if I put my colour on and I stroke, you'll see that the very last area of the stroke before I lift my brush has concentration of colour. Whereas when I dab, look at how I get that concentration. And once again, I'm allowing that water to disperse that pigment for me. And it just makes the flow of that petal seamless. It helps me mould the form of that petal. So step 1, clear water wash, let it seep into the paper. Step 2, clear water wash. Step 3, just bring the pigment in.
Okay. Also, as part of your very successful journey, you've had some amazing exhibitions. People have been standing outside sometimes and basically just wanting to come in and get the pictures as quick as they can, but I just wanted to refer to some of the pieces. A Côte de la Fontaine, which I think is absolutely a beautiful piece, and then Enchanté par la Provence, which is also just a magnificent piece of work as well. I mean, there's the colours and the form in it is amazing. You know, you look at the huge body of what you've done, Time for Reflection. I mean, all really fantastic pieces. I mean, you really are a master artist.
Thank you.
Well, part of your theory with your work is that you have 5 essential elements that really make up a lot of what you do, particularly with the watercolours. And you actually have them under the palette right now.
I do. Under here.
Ta-da!
Yes.
We've got 5 apples, all sort of gone it.
These are at different stages now. So here we have a circle, and you can see how I've been able to create form into a very realistic looking apple using 5 essential elements. The first one is colour. We've got a two-dimensional looking circle. Now we bring in colour temperature, and you can see how we're starting to create some form with colour temperature. Tonal value is the next one, and you can see how incredibly powerful tonal value is. The next one is intensity. We can use intensity to create form. Now look at this last one. This one here has all of the elements together, including edges. Edges that are soft and edges that are sharper. So all these things used in combination give us so many amazing tools that we can use to create paintings that have that professional polish.
That's fantastic. And you're going to demonstrate, because you've got a piece that you've done of a flower, obviously the flowers that you have in your garden, and we're going to pull all of this together with these principles that you've taught us, and then really build on this picture again.
Exactly. So let's do that.
Now we've also got some footage of Susan working on a new metallic range of paintings. Now when I say metallic, I mean gold and platinum leaf. Susan has actually used a specially prepared board and applied the gold and platinum leaf. Then she has painted this most amazingly beautiful young woman over the leaf using oil paints. The luminescent qualities of the picture are amazing. It makes the painting come alive. Here's a shot of the final piece. I can certainly see why she is so excited about her new series. Without a doubt, one of the best paintings I have seen in a long time.
Okay, folks, well, as you can see, we've put up the next piece, which is the flower itself. But in saying this, Susan, there's a whole bunch of things that you're using that I don't think the audience may be aware about. The first one is actually the board that it's on. Describe that to me.
Sure. This is gator board. It's the 3/4 inch, or I think it might be about 12 millimeters. I use Lucas white gummed tape, which holds the paper down. I wet the paper, lay it on the board, and then use the Lucas tape. When it's all totally bone dry, I then use Alvin masking tape. And then you're good to go. So I'm just going to be using my priming method again. First step, clear water wash. So while that's sinking in, I'll show you how I create my colour trails. I can see that there's quite a lot of purple in here, so I'm going to use my purple magenta, alizarin crimson. And I'm going to use the cool yellow, the Aurelian yellow. So we've got our 3 colours. That wash has sunken in, and I'm going to add my clear water wash, step 2 of my priming method, and go straight in with my warm colour.
One of the other big things that I've noticed in your work, and you've painted a lot of great New Zealand animals, and there's a picture of a takahe that we're just putting up at the moment, which is one of the rarest birds in the world. It was only rediscovered in 1948, but I think the most amazing part about that is that your son Glenn is the boss of the recovery program for these birds and reintroducing them back into the wild again. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, it's just so wonderful, incredibly fulfilling for Glenn, and we're so proud of what he's doing. It's really making such a difference to these birds, which were once thought extinct. I think in 1948 they thought it was extinct. So it's been such a pleasure to be able to go into places where I'm able to watch these birds and capture them just as they are in nature. That's one of the big things that inspire me too.
Now, these have been sitting on the table since we started here today, and I want you to tell me how these are going to be used. Sure. And what are they again?
What are they? These are called colour previewers, and the point of them is that they're transparent. They also are graduated. So you've got a light area, which would be equivalent to a very pale wash, right the way up to a much darker wash. In this case, what I'm going to do is use some Payne's Grey Bluish. Let's see if that works. It's quite strong, but you can see that in the lighter area, that is actually really going to push that background further back, and right up next to the main subject, we'll find that it will really push the main subject forward. So that tells me that that's the colour that I need. But you can also use them in combination. For instance, you might decide maybe a little bit of alizarin crimson with Payne's grey bluish. You can take this off and try several if you want to, but I feel that Payne's grey bluish is going to give me the effect that I want, so let's do that.
Absolutely, and if anybody wanted to get in touch with you about those, they can just go to your website, can't they?
Yeah, go to my website, there's a contact form there, contact me, I'm more than happy to help you.
Fantastic idea.
So I'm going to really throw this area up here right back. That cools the background and it allows the main subject to be the leading lady. I'm not worrying about my edges at this stage because I sort that out in the fine-tuning stage right at the end. So I'm going to put some water on my palette, and I'm certainly going to try Payne's grey bluish initially and see how that goes. The colour previewer tells us that it's going to make quite a difference. So
just dab it on again?
Yes, just dab it on. Once again, I'm letting that water move it for me. But you see how it's throwing that little bit of orange right back?
Now you also do some pretty amazing international workshops as well that combine not just painting, but sightseeing, wineries, historical places. That sounds fascinating. That'll be an amazing thing to go. And so how many times a year do you do those?
The painting tours are once every 2 years. It's such a fun thing to do. Last September we were sitting in a meadow in the Swiss Alps overlooking the Eiger and capturing the snow-capped Alps. It was just a magical thing to do. But I also do international workshops. I teach in New Zealand, I teach in Australia, and I also teach in the US. So kept pretty busy.
Absolutely. Actually, part of one of your big supporters in what you do is Mr. Derek Parker from Parker's Art Supplies in Sydney.
Yes.
He's a fantastic man that has been right behind you, and many, many other artists into the proviso as well. He's always there to help everybody out.
Yeah, he's a wonderful guy, and you know it's a one-stop shop. Because teaching internationally, a lot of people want to just go to one shop to get all the products that I use. Well, Derek's been great. He's imported things in from Germany, from the States, from all over, so that like the right gatorboard, there are a lot of imposters out there. The tapes that I use, the brushes from Da Vinci. He has my signature sets, and he has the paints that I use. So you know he's been absolutely wonderful, incredibly encouraging, and just a great guy.
Also, another huge supporter of you is dear Herman Meyer from Da Vinci Brushes. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Lovely, lovely people. I've been using Da Vinci brushes for many, many years. I've tried lots of different brushes, but the Da Vinci brushes are absolutely superb. And Herman has been a wonderful support to me over the many years. But you know, I just love their philosophy too. They're very much into the environment, and that's a very special thing about their brushes. But you know, I just can't surpass them. This little cheap brush, the Series 122, that's my workhorse. It's just a synthetic brush, but I use that for lifting out any areas that I want lighter. This incredible brush is amazing. I developed this alongside Da Vinci. The most amazing brush, incredible point. You can do fine areas as well as large areas. The quality, yeah, I'm happy to put my name behind them because they are such amazing brushes and they're such great people. Another quick tip, notice how here we have the shadow up on the underside of that petal. While you've got your background wet, come in, put some clear water on your petal and tease some of that background up onto that petal so it helps envelop it into the background rather than it looking like a cardboard cutout. I'm actually adding a little bit more of the shadow colour on there as well, and that just gives it that turn. And I also do that for areas like this where I want this to go a long way further back into the background. Just add a little bit of the shadow colour
Just to soften
over
those
both.
edges.
It softens the edges, but it also allows that shadow to envelop it. And you see how that's pulled that back.
That's done.
Done.
Okay, well, one of the amazing things that's happened to Susan over the years is her work is so popular that people line up outside for hours to get in to actually purchase the work. So she ended up putting a cover or a veil over the pictures, and when they were unveiled, the people would come in and simply grab the number because your work was so popular. It's an amazing story. It just goes to show the success that you've had.
Thank you.
But we're going to unveil this one now, and this picture is called, voila, La Confidante. And you're going to explain the 5 elements to us, which is what we did today with the watercolour. This is an oil, but you're going to explain to us how those 5 elements actually fit into this picture.
Exactly. When I painted all these, they were all very prominent. When I had finished the painting, as far as describing the elements, I then came in and I threw these areas right back with just a glaze. That colour temperature change, the tonal value change and the intensity change allowed me to focus on the main subjects.
Absolutely fascinating, and so as you can see by the quality of Susan's work, it is just extraordinary, it really is. Okay guys, a fantastic day. Thank you so much, Susan.
Thank you, Graeme, it's been fun.
It was an absolute pleasure, and a master artist. I mean, international workshops, if you wanted to go on those, I suggest you do so and get in touch with Susan. She has some fantastic DVDs out on watercolour, painting, so many different things you can do. And also you've got a number of books out that you've produced as well. So she's a very, very well-known lady under any circumstances. Your website address is?
www.susanart.com. Nice and easy to remember.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
susanart.com.
So come in and see Susan about workshops and obviously the DVDs. Plus her work, as I said, it's hard to get at the best of times, so particularly when you've got a veil over it and somebody just grabs a number, you know she's popular. Also, colourionyourlife.com.au. Come and talk to us. We've got some fantastic things going on these days, plenty of DVDs in there as well. And go into YouTube and to Facebook as well. Our YouTube channel seems to be going pretty nuts these days, which is good for everybody in the end anyway. But we had a great time here today in New Zealand at the Bay of Plenty, Tauranga.
Exactly, well done.
We've got some crazy names around here. And we're going to be here for a little while filming some other amazing people, but we're going to head off again. And remember, until we see you, make sure you put some colour in your life, guys. All the best now.
Bye.
Bye now.